One-step equations, fractional coefficients. Okay, so coefficient is the number that's directly in front of the variable. So in this case, it's a fraction. So yeah, here we go. Solve for r and simplify your answer. So step one, write the equation 10 equals negative 2 over 3r. Please keep in mind that it's negative 2 over 3 multiplied by r. The quickest way to get rid of a fraction when we're dealing with the equation is to multiply by its reciprocal. But before we do that, let's split the equation down the middle where the equal sign is. So we have a left and a right. And as we stated earlier, the reciprocal of negative 2 over 3 is actually a negative 3 over 2. So it's the same thing, just flipped upside down. So we're going to multiply this side by negative 3 over 2 as well. And we use the parentheses just to kind of keep things tidy. On the left side, I am going to make this 10 a fraction by putting it over 1. And now I'm going to draw a horizontal line, and we're going to simplify that first line of the equation. So negative 3 times 10 is negative 30, and then 2 times 1 is 2. So for right now, I've got negative 30 over 2, or negative 30 divided by 2. And in this case, I just want to point this out, that when we multiplied by negative 3 over 2 and 2 over 3, this is what it would happen. We'd have negative 2 times negative 3 over 2. Please first notice that a negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 2 is 6. And then remember that 6 over 6 is 1. That's why multiplying by the reciprocal is the quickest way to get rid of a fractional coefficient. Because if it simplifies to 1, 1 times r is just r. Now the question is simplify. Did we simplify? And I happen to notice that negative 30 actually does divide by 2 evenly. So I'm going to draw my horizontal line, and I'm going to simplify this one step further. In fact, negative 30 divided by 2 is just negative 15, which is an integer, which makes it a little bit easier for us. But as I'll show you, not all of them will simplify to be an integer. Sometimes you'll have a fraction, and sometimes you'll have a simplified fraction. All right, second example. Solve for a, simplify your answer. So we write the original equation, negative 19 equals negative 5 over 2a. We're going to split our equation into a left and a right by drawing a vertical line through it. We get rid of this fractional coefficient of negative 5 over 2 by multiplying by the reciprocal. And the reciprocal is negative 2 over 5. But if I do negative 2 over 5 on the right side, I would also multiply by negative 2 over 5 on the left side. On the left side, I have a fraction multiplied by an integer. I'm going to make this integer, or negative 19, a fraction by putting it over 1, just to kind of make it look the same. That helps a lot of kids dealing with this. You don't have to, but it's a good idea. So first of all, a negative times a negative is a positive. And I'm going to go 2 times 19. And 2 times 19 is 38. And then 5 times 1 is 5. So the only thing that really changed at this point is that we changed a negative times a negative to a positive. I would like to try and reduce 38 over 5, but the only thing I can reduce the number 5 by is by 5. And unfortunately, 38 doesn't divide by 5. Okay. Then we had negative 5 over 2 multiplied by a negative 2 over 5. Negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 2 is 10. And then 2 times 5 is 10. And recall that 10 over 10 is the same as the number 1. So if we really have just number 1 times a, that's going to be equal to a. So we tried to reduce it. It didn't. So again, similarly, sometimes you'll get a fraction that simplifies to an integer. Sometimes you'll get just a straight up fraction, no simplifying involved. And then the last one I show you, I'm going to be up front with you. This is actually going to simplify. It's still going to be a fraction, but it will simplify. So again, step 1, write negative 3 equals 6 over 5b. Step number 2, split the equation into a left and a right by drawing a vertical line through it. Next, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 6 over 5, which is 5 over 6. If we do that on the right, we also do that on the left. I'm going to make this negative 3 a fraction by putting it over 1. I'm going to draw my horizontal line, and I'm now going to simplify that first line. So 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. 6 times 1 is 6. I'm going to bring down the equal sign. And then notice if I write this out here to the side, 6 over 5 times 5 over 6, a positive times a positive is still a positive. 6 times 5 is 30, and 5 times 6 is 30, and 30 over 30 is 1. 1 multiplied by b is b. However, I am going to caution you that I told you in advance that this will simplify. So negative 15 over 6, let's see, they share, I can divide this by 2 because it's even. I can't divide that by 2, it's odd. But I can divide this by 3, and I can divide this by 3. Please remember the rule for 3 says this. If you take the digits, so if I go 1 plus 5, 1 plus 5 is 6. And so I know that since 6 will divide by 3, 15 will also divide by 3. So I'm going to divide negative 15 by 3 to get negative 5. And then 6 divided by 3 to get 2. So we get a final answer. After I draw my horizontal line, I'm going to simplify the second line now, is negative 15 over 3 would simplify to a negative 5 over 2 is equal to b. And there you have it. Take your time. Make sure you simplify whenever possible.